In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the most useful functions in Excel. The first one that we're going to talk about is average. And as you might already know, how do you calculate average? You calculate average by adding group of numbers and dividing it by its count. So the function in Excel is as follows. You type, as always, equal the name of the function, which is in our case average, and you select the range. You close the parenthesis and you hit enter. This is how you get the average. Also, if you want to on the spot calculate the average, let's say for two numbers, you could do it the same way. Type equal average. Let's say if I want to find out the average number for 100 and 350, this is how I'll do it, and then close the parenthesis, hit enter, and on the spot it calculated average of those two numbers. The next one that we're going to talk about is sum. Basically, you might already know again, sum. How is sum calculated? Sum is calculated by adding group of numbers. So in Excel, this is how we do it. You type equal, type sum, and select the range, close the parenthesis and hit enter, and it calculated sum of these numbers. Again, the same thing, similar to what we did for average. If you want to calculate the sum of three numbers on the spot, you could do it by typing equal sum, open parenthesis, type, let's say if I want to calculate 100, 250 and 450 by separating it by using comma, close the parenthesis, hit enter, it gave me the sum. The next one, which is the interesting one that we're going to talk about, is SUMIF. So in this case, we have the product, right? Product types, the names, and the sales. So we just don't want to calculate the sum of the sales, right? We want to calculate, for example, sum of sales for apples only. As you could see, we have multiple apple products or bananas or others. Or what is the sum of sales for oranges? So the way you do it is this. First, you type equal and the name of the function, SUMIF. You open the parenthesis. You select the range of the product, right? And then you type comma. You select the criteria based on what name you want to get the sum, and you type another comma, and then you select the numbers from which you want to get the sum from, and you close the parenthesis, you hit enter. So right now it shows 0, of course, since we did not add anything to our criteria. But if we switch over, and let's say if I want to find out the sum of sales for apples, I just simply type apples and then leave, it automatically calculated for me. Or let's say if you want to find out the sum of sales for bananas, you simply type bananas, and here you go, it automatically calculates it for you. So you could type it, or one more thing that I'll show you, I think it's kind of easy in this case. What you can also do if you don't want to type, because when you type you might end up misspelling and then it's not going to calculate it for you. So what you could do, you could go to data and create a data validation, and from here, from validation criteria, you pick the list and then you select the source. So in our case, the source is these data sets. Once you have done that, you click enter, and then you click OK, and then it will introduce you with a little drop down based on this list, right? So let's say now this is easier, you're not going to type, you just simply pick one. For example, if I want to find out about oranges, as you can see, we only have 3 different types of product over here. So let's say if I want to find out about apple, I just click apple. You see it automatically calculated for me. The same thing with bananas, the sum for banana, the sum of sales for bananas, and the sum of sale for oranges. That's one way of doing it. Another function that we're going to talk about is the count function, and the count function allows us to count number of cells in a range that contains numbers only. And the way you do it is this way, right? You type equal count, and let's say you select the range, and you hit enter, close parenthesis and hit enter. It calculated 14. I missed one. So pay attention. It counts the number of cells that contain numbers, right? So let's say if you wanted to count text, or like this column, it would just give you 0 because it doesn't contain any number. So you could just quickly test it out, count and select this, and the result is going to be what? 0. Because the count function just counts the cells which contain numbers. Another function that we are going to be talking about is COUNTA or COUNTA. So basically this one counts the number of cells that are not empty, right? And this one we could use with a combination of numbers and even text. For example, if I just simply copy like some of these over here to COUNTA, and then maybe some numbers from here. So I think this is going to make 6. And let's say if I want to find the count for that. So how do I do it? Equals COUNTA, open parenthesis, select the range, close it, and here you go. It gives me 6. If it's blank, it's not going to count it. So now the next one is COUNTBLANK. Basically, it counts empty cells, which are empty. So the way you do it, let's say we pick these again, 3 of them, and then we leave some blank space, and then we have these ones. And then the formula is this. You type equal COUNTBLANK. You select the range, like from oranges, let's say up until here only. Close the parenthesis, hit enter. It shows us 2 because we selected only from here to here, and then these are the only 2 empty cells that we have, and that is how it calculated the 2 empty cells. The next one, let's move this over here. The next one is COUNTIF. It is somewhat similar to SUMIF. However, this one just counts the selection, the certain selection. For example, from this list, if you want to count how many bananas do I have, like from the products, within the products, or how many oranges do I have on this list. So for that, this is the formula. You type equal COUNTIF. You select the range, comma, and the criteria once again, and you close the parenthesis, you hit enter. Again, it shows 0 because we didn't type anything here. So now again, let's say if you want to see how many times do we have bananas on this list. So now you type bananas, it will give you the number. If you wanted to verify, bananas 1, 2, 3, and 4. And watermelon, we only have it once over here on this list. Let's say if we type watermelon, it should return us 1. Here you go. Or like, let's say if you want to find out how many mangoes do we have on this list, you type mango, it's 3. If you verified 1, mango 2, and mango 3. And the next function that we're going to be talking about is if function. Let me move over here a little bit. So now, what is if function? And what is one of the use cases for if function? Let's say I have this list, right? This chart for example, and I have like salesperson names, I have region, I have the sales, right? Let's say in dollar amount, and quota, right? What is expected sale? So basically what this tells me, hey, let's say the expected sales for each salesperson is, let's say, is different, but in this case for John is 5,000. Sorry, quote 4,500 is expected, but this is actual sales that he made. And I just want to, in the status, I want to print something which would say if the salesperson meets the quota, we could say met quota. And if the salesperson has less sales than quota, then we can say that he or she did not meet the quota. And how we do it? We do it this way. We type equal sign, if, the name of the condition. It opens up the parentheses for us. Now we select the sales, right, number, and then we'll say that if the sales is greater or equal to quota, right, we also type after that comma, and we put the text in the quotation mark, within the quotation mark, we would say met quota. Else, if it's not equal or less than quota, then again we open the quotation mark and we say did not meet quota. Open the quotation mark or close quotation mark and close parenthesis, hit enter. Since the sales is 5,000, right, it's greater than quota, then it met. So now if you want to do the same for the rest of the list, you just drag this, you take it and drag it, and it will give you that result. So for example, in this case, right, you see the total sales for Dave is 2,000, but the expected was 3,000. That's why it did not meet the quota. That's why based on our formula, it typed did not meet the quota. Or like for this guy, West. So the quota is 6,000 for him, the expected sales, but the actual sales for him was 6,200. And as a result, this is what the message we have, met quota, because the sales is greater than the quota. And there are lots of other stuff that you could do, useful stuff that you could do with if condition. Maybe we'll discuss those in some other future videos. That is it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, follow, and like this video. Thank you very much.